Yes, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Or shall I use this one? Yeah, okay. Good morning again, and welcome to the third day of the conference, ICALT 24. Today, I will be chairing this session, this keynote session, and we have a distinguished keynote speaker, Cengiz Hakan Aydin. First, I will read you a short bio of him, and then we will be starting. Cengiz Hakan Aydin is a full professor in Anadolu University of Turkey, where he has been offering courses in the field of open and distance learning since early 1990s. He is currently the head of the Distance Education Department, Faculty of Open Education, Anadolu University, and the director of Anadolu University's Open Anadolu project. Dr. Aydin served as an instructional designer in the open education system until September 2017 and as Dean of the Faculty of Economics, one of the three faculties that made up the open education system of the university between 2013 and 2016. His current research interests include the design and development of ODL environments, integration of new technologies into ODL, open educational resources, open educational practices, massive open online courses, and current trends in higher education. Dr. Aydin has served as the international and board member of the Association for Educational Communications and Technology, as board member of the International Council for Educational Media, and as a member of the Open Educational Resources Committee of the International Council for Distance Education. He is currently a steering committee member of the Open Up Ed initiative of the European Council for Distance Teaching Universities, board member of the Association for Educational Communications and Technology, and member of the Center for Distance Education Research. He is also on the editorial boards of the International Review of Research in Open and Distance Learning, Educational Media, International and Journal of Open, Distance and Digital Education. Yes, Hocam, the floor is yours. We will take the questions following your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for this kind introduction. I would like to start with sharing my screen. Hello, everyone. First of all, I'm sorry that I'm not able to with you. I wish I were with you. Unfortunately, I couldn't come, but hoping to meet everybody other times or in other events. So I will be talking about future of open and distance learning. Of course, I will be sort of touching some of the emerging trends in higher education and of course AI. Nowadays, everybody is talking about. Okay, let me. I'm having just a small problem. I don't know why.
What's the problem, Hocam?
I cannot move my slides. Let me see. Just one sec, please. One more time. Let me try.
Hocam, I think you need to share the whole screen.
Yes, I am sharing the whole screen.
Did you change to the next slide?
That's something I cannot do. Let me try one more thing.
Okay.
No, we just tried a couple minutes ago. It worked very well. And didn't work.
Now it's okay, hocam.
Yeah, sorry, sorry for it.
Yes.
For question. Uh, there are a lot already you mentioned about me. There are a lot I can say, but there are two things I would like to express regarding myself. I'm real proud of. I've been dealing with the open and distance learning since '85, and I'm trying to learn, still learn, and share my ideas, share my experiences, share what I do in the field of open and distance learning. And thank you for this opportunity for me for me to share my experiences again. This is first thing I'm really proud of it, and the second part is the last part. I always say that I have more than 100 daughters because I have a basketball team. I am the manager, and I try to help them play and have a good education. So I'm proud of that part too. Now, in my talk, I will be dealing, there are actually three sections. First section, I will talk about the trends in higher education. And of course, it is reflections to open and distance learning offerings. The second part will be I will be talking about again AI. And at the last part, in the third part, I will be combining those two into one so that we will be talking about future of open and distance learning in the age of AI and those trends. But before starting that, there are several terms we use interchangeably, and we usually do not think about their definitions or we don't talk about what they are. I'd like to clarify those terms, first of all, core concepts. This is the sort of a spectrum I created, and I love to use it. At one side, there is face-to-face education. We still use technology in face-to-face education, but just like using PowerPoint or some other basic tools. It is face-to-face education. And the next part, we call it technology-supported learning or technology-supported education, where actually this has been around more than 40 years or close to 40 years. You have to have a virtual environment for your course in technology-supported learning. You have to share your resources, everything in that online platform. I'm not talking about LMS. Yes, nowadays everybody using LMS for everything. But during the early days, even the websites worked very well. So we call that part using technology, not only in the class, but also outside the class activities. The course is still face-to-face, but we use technology to support the face-to-face education. And here is the interesting word, hybrid learning or hybrid classroom. Actually, the idea comes from the hybrid classroom concept. Hybrid classroom is still, or hybrid learning is still face-to-face education. We as teachers in the classroom, students, some of our students are in the classroom, but we let others outside the classroom join our classroom activities. Still face-to-face, but we should not use the face-to-face learning activities, same activities in this classroom. It requires different pedagogies, different strategies, so that you should keep those online learners, those who are accessing the classroom outside the classroom, get benefit and be engaged. So these three, what I call technology-enhanced learning. Hybrid classroom and blended learning, or hybrid learning and blended learning, are the two concepts we usually mix each other. And in many ways, a hybrid learning is sort of, or blended learning is considered as a subpart of hybrid learning. But actually, it is different. Again, hybrid learning is face-to-face, still face-to-face. But blended learning is mainly, it's an online learning offering. We offer the whole learning process, majority of the learning process, online, but only for required times we bring all of our learners together in person. So everybody has to be online or has to be in class. In-class activities can be hybrid. In other words, some of the participants may not come to classroom in-person activities, so they can join as a hybrid mode at a distance. And then there's the other term, distance education. We often mix it with open education and distance education, but they are different. Distance education, more structured learning process or educational offering. And it has two kinds, traditional and online. So traditional distance education and online distance education, they are different. In traditional the distance education, for example, in Anadolu University, we still do traditional distance education. We use traditional media to offer our courses, our learning processes. Of course, we are moving to online distance education, and we have done a lot, but still, it is not necessary to join every online activity. Still, they have to use the textbooks and video and all other kinds of technology, traditional media, I must say. And difference between distance education and open education is more flexible. And yes, it is mostly at a distance. We offer open education at a distance, but it is not necessarily be at a distance. We can have face-to-face open education offerings. And under this open education, there are two terms. There are many others, but there are two terms we are really discussing a lot. OERs, open education resources, and open education practices. And all these blended distance and open education are what we call technology-based learning. And nowadays, this is especially after the COVID, we see a lot of this term, high flex. Some people call it hybrid flexible, majority call it this way, but sometimes I call it hyper flexible. And we are saying that an university in this age, doesn't matter if it's an completely open university or and distance education provider or a face-to-face education provider, at this moment, all the universities should offer courses in all these different modes, different ways. And the term open and distance learning, here it is. In open and distance learning, we are really dealing with technology-based learning rather than technology-enhanced or face-to-face education. So I'm sure this is sort of some of you may not agree on these terms, but when I say open and distance learning, I hope these definitions clarify what I mean. Now, the trends. Nowadays, we are experiencing a lot of trends, actually. Too many. I had to choose. And these are the things that really will affect, not the long run, but in the short run, what as open and distance learning providers will be doing. Competency-based education, career-ready education, internalization, unbundling or disruption, twin transition, which is the digital transition and green transition, and openness. They are really right now, actually they have already started to influence us, influence all the universities, but especially those offering open and distance learning. Competence-based education, I don't want to get into details of these trends, but briefly, now we should we should design our courses and programs in a modular mode, and each module should focus on not just the content area, but a competency that the learner will be using soon during the learning process and after the educational offering. That's very important, that now when you design something, start first with what kind of competency the students should possess. This actually is very related to career-ready education. Nowadays, especially in the Western world, people are not going to universities. They think that spending 4 years or more is just a waste of time. They want to focus on competencies that will help them get a career in their field of interest easily. So they want to focus on shorter, more condensed, but an education system that will help them get a job easier than the other ways. That's why micro-credentials, for example, is becoming very popular. Everybody now working on, or all the institutions are trying to offer some sort of short learning programs or micro-credentials or whatever you call it. This is related to this job market. Of course, big companies have big influence in higher education, and this trend is absolutely related to their influence. For example, nowadays Google has this certification programs, and when you finish those certification programs, short learning programs offered by Google or some other mediators like Coursera or others, you really receive a certificate which has more value than than a diploma, undergraduate degree diploma. So people are trying to get that kind of certificates rather than diplomas. In some countries like Turkey, diplomas are still important, but it has been changing a lot. Now, especially even the employers are looking for those certificates offered by the quality institutions. So and also that's even in the undergraduate level, programs that are targeting some occupations are preferred more than especially mainstream scientific areas. For instance, in Turkey, in the field of physics, we have physics programs under science departments, and majority of those programs are having difficulty to find students. They don't go that mainstream physics program. Rather, they prefer going to like engineering kind or other more job-related or occupation-oriented programs. So this is another trend as open and distance learning providers and even the regular universities. Everybody should be careful about it. Internalization, everybody talks about internalization, and unfortunately, when you look at the criteria the universities rank themselves or compare with or benchmark with the others, there is one dominant criterion, which is mobility of the students. It is not internalization by itself. When we say internalization, reaching out to students, employing or recruiting those students, not just students, recruiting international professors, teachers, researchers, bringing them into your institution, or in the context of open and distance learning, that you don't have to bring them physically, but you should create programs, offer programs or learning opportunities where in which your instructors are all around the world. Especially when you are targeting the world, not just a small geographic area, you have to be careful about time differences. You have to be careful about quality matters. And through internalization, through recruiting different researchers, different professors from different sections, different regions of the world, you can really be you can really succeed internalization. Not just in terms of education. At the same time, research and development is important. We have to, all the universities, we have to try to find international researchers. We have to establish joint international research centers and try to bring all those researchers in those centers so that we will have a more broader researchers and more focused research studies. So internalization is something we should be focusing on as open and distance learning providers. Unbundling, this is from our French colleague Punier. He presented it in 2013. And I really like this picture. It shows what we are doing right now, what we will be doing soon. In the traditional way, as education providers, we try to do everything. We try to offer everything in one institution in terms of research, certification, assessment, everything, even selection of the students. But the world is changing. And now in the market, there are a lot of companies, there are a lot of other institutions offering those services better than us. Here's a picture how Harvard is sort of on the target position for the companies. You know, Harvard is a brick and mortar university, but still they have to, and of course they do offer a lot of online learning opportunities, especially in terms of SPOC, small online private courses or small private online courses. And many companies are trying to help Harvard to help them offer their services better. All the companies are trying to be in the field of education because education field has become really a good sector for many institutions. And as open and distance learning providers, if we try to do everything by ourselves, for example, recruiting international students, how will you reach from, for example, Cyprus? How will you reach the international students? It is sometimes difficult. You may have good networks. but majority of the institutions don't have that network. So we should be working, collaborating with the partners. That is unbundling. We cannot do everything by ourselves. We don't have to work with companies. You can collaborate with the other institutions. For example, there are some institutions focusing on there are some institutions specialized, some universities specialized in some fields. So why don't we work with them? Why don't we work with those universities, collaborate, establish strategic partnership with them? And there is this term, shared services. For example, if they have students in Turkey, a university, we can do their assessment, and they can do the same assessment, our students, in their countries. So unbundling is something we have to think about. We have to work on it. We have to develop some strategic partnership. Twin transition, the green and digital transition, they're all sort of together. We cannot divide them. Everybody's talking about how we can make our offerings more environmentally friendly offerings, how we can reduce our carbon footprint and others, and also how we can use technology to make what we are doing more effective, more efficient, more appealing, or sustainable. It is about, everything is about sustainability, and this green transition and digital transition, they're all both serving for the sustainability. So that is something not just the regular institutions or higher education institutions or any educational institution should be thinking. Everybody, especially open and distance learning providers, should be thinking of these transitions, and we have to complete those transitions as soon as possible. And openness, now everything is open. We have open science, open culture, open resources, open education, everything. And I'm sure you, even the institutions like higher education institutions are changing. OERU has been doing a good job. Similarly, Open University of People, they're both are doing really good things. Although Open University of People had some issues recently, but I know very well that one of my colleagues, actually he's a staff here in, not a colleague, he's a colleague, but at the same time a staff working in our university. He received a degree, computer science degree, computer engineering degree in University of People. And the quality of courses are quite good. So now we, as it is in our hardcore that as open and distance learning providers, we have to think openness. So those were the sort of trends have been influencing us, I mean the open and distance learning providers. And now we are experiencing, which is related to digitalization, or digital transition, AI. AI is, everybody defines it differently. I'm not going to define it because it is really difficult. But what it does is, it's so fast. It is faster than us to do some of the things that we have been doing as humankind. We are doing, like accessing the information, processing it, learning, interpreting, drawing conclusions, and taking actions. Those are the things that AI has been doing really good job. And but on the other hand, it is still developing its skills regarding adaptivity, especially it is not yet good at instinctive reactions. You know, sometimes when someone touches you or says something, we instinctively respond. But AI hasn't reached that part. My idea, it will reach. When, I don't know, but it will reach. Also, there are some emotional reactions. AI hasn't reached the top level or hasn't reached our level, but it is coming. It is big, it is coming. Many years ago, when the first personal computers introduced, IBM's CEO announced that or declared that, okay, computers are there, why we need personal computers? That was a mistake, because now computers are everywhere, even in our watches, in our glasses, everywhere. But OpenAI, the company, had created the same effect. Until personal computers, there were a lot of things regarding computers. But with the personal computers, the regular people reached the computers, and it expanded, it boosted the use of computers. Similarly, OpenAI created the same effect. Until OpenAI, there are a lot of AI implementations or tools, but with OpenAI, everybody had been having opportunity to reach these tools and develop their own tools, which is called generative AI. Tell the truth, although in our title it is written generative AI, I'm not really in favor of generative AI. It sounds, for me, it's like using Web 2.0 tools for education. As university professors, teachers, researchers, especially as researchers, we should go beyond the generative AI and try to develop our own large language models or ChatGPTs or that kind of tools rather than using available ones. Of course, I'm not talking about reinventing the wheel. It's just that we, as the educational expert, especially open and distance learning providers, we have to develop our own tools. There are three or classifications I like to share, but I'm not going to talk about a lot because I have already spent some time. This is AI generations. First generation, just rule-based. Like a couple of years ago, for example, we designed this course. It was a MOOC, and we had a rule-based system. So when students do this, they got this reaction from the system automatically. So that kind of a rule-based system. Now in the second generation, still we are using a lot of statistical methods, which help us, or actually it helps the machine learning. But there is more. The third generation brain model, we should be maybe focusing more on this brain model things. This is the other one, AI based on capabilities, narrow intelligent, general intelligent, and super intelligent. Now we are in the narrow intelligent age, but people say that we have to move the others. It's already there, actually. There are people working a lot, especially general intelligence. And recently there was a news, US and Israel is working on super intelligent tools. We will see, they are coming. And this is the other one, AIs based on functionality. So reactive AI, limited memory, we already in this stage, but we have to move to theory of mind and self-aware stages in terms of functionality. They are coming. People are working, especially a lot of research studies going on regarding theory of mind. In terms of education, I like this of what Olaf did in 2019. He reviewed the research on artificial intelligence applications and classified those into four main categories: profiling and prediction, intelligent tutoring system, assessment evaluation, adaptive system, and personalization. So these were based on the research studies, but actually it is the classification of the practices. Now we are already using AI for creating learning materials or teaching course content or student modeling or academic achievement, automated grading, kind of, those are all, there are a lot of tools. We can use them for these purposes. Later, in last year, actually, it says 2024 right now, but the first version was published. Actually, they conducted and finished it in 2023. Melissa Bond and their colleagues did another similar study, and they classified, they sort of expand the Olaf's classification to this. Again, there are four main areas: profiling, prediction, intelligent tutoring system, assessment evaluation, adaptive system, and personalization. And they added those with the, I don't know if you can see the colors well on the screen, like career paths and placement, student satisfaction, diagnostic prediction, with a different color I try to express, or facial recognition, mood detection, recommender systems, and course scheduling, robots. And those are the different ways we can use, or different tools, AI-based tools in higher education. So this picture is important because when we talk about future of open and distance learning and the trends, you may remember the first one was competence-based educational learning. So it requires, this trend requires that we have to provide educational learning opportunities based on the competencies. And AI, even right now, help us identify those personalized competencies, and not just those competencies, the competency levels, in which level that competency acquired by the students. This AI tools help us to identify personal competencies and their levels. Through the alternative assessment methods, AI tools help us to assess how well or in which level, competency level, one student acquired those skills or competencies. So this is something AI help us. Also, AI help us in terms of competency-based education, customize the resources and learning activities. It help us create learning resources directly targeting those personalized competencies. Think about it. You have a class of 30 students in a graduate level, let's say, and each student focusing on the same subject area, but they are getting personalized, they're acquiring personalized competencies with different competency levels, with the different learning resources and different learning activities. It's a huge opportunity Now it may seem as a dream, but it is there. It's already there. And of course, AI help us provide students on-time support. Usually we provide either scheduled or on-demand support. But through AI, especially in the context of competency-based education, we can provide online, on-time support. When they need it, the system continuously can provide that support. In terms of career-ready education, profiling the learners. AI help us profiling the learners, providing them better recommendations based on their profiles, and provide continuous support for their support to learners develop their talents in different areas. So, or AI is already doing this. There are a lot of practices right now and research studies are going on. In terms of internalization, I mentioned that we have to bring students from different regions to teachers from different regions. Time differences or cultural differences, they are all important. So AI is helping us scheduling learning activities. It's a big job for a human agents to organize those scheduling. It's possible, but it's a big job. AI helps us in a couple minutes. Also, it helps the instructors create culturally sensitive courses, content, learning materials, learning activities. We don't know how people react to the jokes that we are doing during providing to learners. But AI knows it better than us, and it helps us. It warns the instructors to design better learning activities and resources. And also, it helps us adapt the course content again based on the cultural differences. In terms of unbundling and disruption, virtual assistants are coming big. I will talk a little bit more soon. But they are big, and they're helping us unbundle and find better strategic partners, work with them collaboratively, and provide better alternative assessment assessment methods or tools, creating learning materials. They help us identify or determine student satisfaction better than the other ways. And of course, AI already helping us learn what teachers have in mind in terms of using, in terms of designing their courses and materials. In terms of twin transition, each institution, doesn't matter if it's an online education provider or a face-to-face education provider, there is this education job, research and development, social service, and management. So AI is already helping us all those areas. And in terms of twin transition, we have to think everything. We have to think green in education. For example, we have to think like 21st century skills. We have to think how we can help our students gain green skills. And AI help us integrate green skills or activities that will help our students gain green skills. It also helps us doing research about greening, and also we have to find ways to use AI for the research and development for the purpose of greening. So now nowadays, and especially we've been talking about this integrated systems. Now, all the institutions, especially open and distance learning providers, must think about intelligent systems. Integrated systems is done. You have to do it. That's a must. But we already moved to intelligent systems. You have to find systems. You have to establish systems so that They will make some basic decisions for the routine jobs, or they should provide the alternative decisions as the manager, and then managers can choose it. So AI is already helping us moving to more intelligent systems. And openness, yes, everybody now, especially ODL providers, we have to be adaptive, we have to provide personal learning experiences and personalized. They are different. Personal and personalized learning are different. In the personal one, the focus is, the focal point is still the learner. The learner choose what they want to do. In the personalized one, it's more the resources or the processes provided to students. The student usually do not choose. Both are important, and as ODL providers, we have to provide both personal and personalized learning opportunities, and AI helps us provide more open and personalized, adaptive, intelligent learning systems. As I mentioned in the last part, I'm already done, I know. Virtual assistants, I will be very quick. Now, already there is this tool, for example, for the students. It provides a lot of information or answers the questions of the students. But in the future, they will be more advanced. This is a study our colleagues are doing here, not here, I'm in Europe. We will have like a virtual assistant next to us with some tools, wearable technologies. It's already there, but it's improving. And it doesn't only answer your questions. It identifies your moods and provides some feedback, both behavioral, emotional, and cognitive feedback for your, based on your emotional state. It is coming big, and in the future we will have more realistic, personal, human-like virtual assistants. For the instructors, if you are familiar with Contact North, they created this AI tool. It really helps a lot designing your course. But in the future, there will be more advanced ones. They will design personalized courses, and they will have a lot of provide a lot of alternative assessment ideas, and they will provide continuous support for you, for the teachers. So the virtual assistants in the future really will be more, virtual assistantship will be more personal and realistic, and they will help us more, actually our students, more personal and realistic learning experiences. We have to work on those. And my final words, there are diverse learners. They are coming geographically diverse, and as a profile, their characteristic, their needs, they're all diverse. So we have to target all these various needs, and AI help us those. We have to provide shorter and stackable learning units rather than big chunk of courses, large courses or programs. We have to forget about those. We have to focus on shorter, stackable learning units. We have to find alternative assessment ways, and especially in terms of management issues, we have to be more flexible, and mobility is important, virtual mobility I'm talking about. As ODL providers, we have to focus on these issues. AI is already helping us. The only problem is understanding AI, developing some tools, and providing this kind of, focusing on this kind of activities. Thank you very much. I hope it was meeting your expectations. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much.
Stop this, yes.
Yes, thank you for the structured and easy to follow presentation, and for your invaluable information that you gave us. You explained the concepts and explained the trends and then how AI will be influencing. It's very nice, but it's a little bit scary, isn't it? The future,
Well, it's
how it will evolve and change.
well, it is already there, so we should not scare. We should find ways
Yeah,
to use those tools. At the end, they are tools, more than tools, a little bit, but still they are tools.
we need to learn how to use it effectively, I think.
Yes, and especially as researchers, teachers, instructors in universities, we must learn all these technologies, understand their essence, and then use them effectively and in better ways
Yes,
in our offerings. We
yes,
have to be model for our students and the society.
sure. Thank you. If anyone has a question for the professor, any questions? Yes, I can give you the microphone.
Yes, Professor Aydin, thank you for your very informative sharing. I would like to ask your opinion about, since we all know in education, we all try to pursue personalized learning for a very, very long time, right? But in traditional education, I think we all know, actually, we cannot really realize this goal, right? So for online learning, as you mentioned, because we might be able to know better about our students, right? So with the support of AI in two different contexts, like for online education and the traditional physical education, I would like to know your opinion about, in terms of support personalized learning, which one can kind of achieve the goal, kind of pursue this direction of personalized learning, kind of taking the lead. Which one you see is more like a potential to achieve first?
All right, thank you for your question. So for me, yes, as an ODL, as a person dealing with ODL, open and distance learning, I would say personalized learning can be achieved easily than in ODL environment than face-to-face. But I don't want to say that, because we have already reached a position that we should not divide online learning, distance learning, digital learning, open learning, or face-to-face learning. The students, we have to serve all the students with the same mentality in terms of providing personalized learning. So even for the face-to-face students, we have to think about how we can use AI to provide personalized learning in the classroom. Personalized learning is important. I'm really in favor of it, but not that much. I prefer personal learning environment. What I'm saying is, again, we have to help our learners develop such skills that that will help them control their own learning process, help them decide what to learn, when to learn, how to learn. So AI is really helping our students create that personal learning environments for themselves. And as instructors, doesn't matter if we are providing online education or face-to-face education. We have to think about using AI to help our students create their own personal learning environment, even in the classroom. I have seen an example in 2007 in Arizona State University. I had a colleague there. It was a hybrid class. There were some students joining outside the class, and there were some students in the class. And this colleague was peering them, sort of a pair and share activity kind of activities he was doing. And he was helping learners with some technologies, different technologies, to discuss, develop their own learning or reflect on their learning and share it with everybody. It was just a small example how we can provide personal learning in a classroom, in a hybrid classroom actually. So we were using it before AI. And now with OpenAI and all generative AI and other tools, AI-based tools, we are we can provide more personal learning environments for both open and distance learners and also the face-to-face learners. I know I answered differently, but briefly,
Okay, yeah.
I think both
Yes.
are easy.
Any other questions? Yes.
Hi, Hakan. Thank you so much for this quite interesting presentation. Always mixing like OER, like open education and AI is always like very interesting. So my question is, basically from the literature now, we can see that a lot of people are going in one direction, which is how generative AI or AI generally can help open education. But my question is, how open education can help AI in terms of maybe developing a responsible AI, maybe in terms of developing less hallucinating, let's say, generative AI technologies. So what do you think about this second direction, obviously? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed, for this question. Actually, I try to answer. During my presentation, I mentioned about generative AI. I think it's really difficult. It's not difficult. It is a generative AI. The term is and the implementations are something we have to be careful. It's like again, there's this tool. Use it. No. What we have to do is ODL providers and open and distance learning field should try to develop, first of all understand their problems well, and then we should partner with the technology people, with the technology companies maybe, to develop more responsive, more targeted AI implementations, not just the ones available there. We, especially in the universities, we have to focus on R&D for developing, again, tools or AI implementations that will really solve our real-life problems. We should not just use the ones already presented us. It has to be more we have to direct them. We have to direct the technology, not just to follow what the technology companies are doing. I don't know if I am able to answer your question.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
That's why I try not to use generative AI term. I don't like that term much.
Okay. Okay, Professor, thank you. Any other questions or comments? I think everyone is fine. Thank you very much again for the presentation and the information that you gave us.
Thank you. Thank you again for this great opportunity for me to share my ideas and my experience in the field.
You're welcome. See you. Bye.
Thank you.